When did that happen? Hello, everyone. My screen is less green. There we go. Always there. Watching. Waiting. Hello. Willow, thank you for the raid. Bringing the party over. Welcome in, everyone. We're gonna do some game development. Hope everyone is doing well. We're working on our video game. Paper Robot. You know the one. It's bright, it's colorful. There are frogs. There are pigs, but not enough. Tonight's plan is gonna see about a new enemy. That's the one, Terminator the game. That's what we're making. The pigs are too clean. We're gonna try a variant, and I need to kind of brainstorm a bit. So I had two things in mind. One is we need a muddy pig enemy. Specifically, the idea is that the pig is like surfing around beneath the surface of the mud. So the enemy is, what's the way to think about this? Almost like Monty Mole style of like the enemy comes complete with a pit to be in. So like the puddle is part of the enemy. And it like can maybe completely submerge. Yeah, something like that. And I don't know if he fires mud at you and inflicts some kind of status effect or what. The other thing that I want to brainstorm is, and I'm really unsure about the feasibility of this, but it came up while I was working on the first dungeon. I was like, you know what kind of battle would be possible here? Like just from the layout of the area, what would it be like if, and then I had this terrible idea of a gimmick wherein you have enemies on both sides of you. Like you are in the middle of the battle scene and the enemies are surrounding you. What would that be like? What does that do? Like if you get into a battle and it's not just you guys on the left, enemies on the right, it's Team Dabble in the middle, surrounded by enemies. What can we do with that? Doesn't Paper Mario have that? No. Unless you count Origami King, in which case it's complicated. Was there a Final Fantasy that did that? Which number? Well, remind me, Dove. Which number Final Fantasy was on the Super Nintendo? It was 4 and like I got distracted. 4 and something else. 6, you say? Oh, go figure. It worked. You want to show? I'm gonna be a menace. Oh, Hovercat got a thing. Hovercat got a new little toy to play with. Now she can do iron-ons.
I'm so excited.
She's so excited. Dove likes it.
Thank you.
Willow said, OMG, yes. There were 5 exclamation marks. Max says, howdy, HC. Willow says she'll take 1. And Al says, cool. Yeah. 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 It does look good. Now you can sell merch. Yeah.
Just one by one.
Yeah. It's a very tiny iron. It's comically small. Yeah, you let it cool off. Yeah. So like, okay. So pincer attack could be a consequence of getting touched by an enemy on the field. Yeah, maybe. That's not a bad idea. Like, some battles can just do that. Like Earthbound. Yeah. I was thinking that we do need some kind of field consequence for poor entry. Paper Mario 64 and Thousand Year Door handled it by enemies actually perform attacks on the field sometimes, and if you get hit by that on the field, then the battle starts with them attacking you. Yeah, so the tricky thing is the pincer attack. Like, what does that actually do differently mechanically in a fight? One idea I was considering, and remember, this is not necessarily a planned feature, this is just spitballing ideas. One possible idea that I'd considered was, what if that means that, like, whoever's in front can only attack the ones on the right, and whoever's in back is turned around and can only attack the ones on the left. And that's like, maybe it gets a little bit hairy when you have some attacks that can hit everything. And it gets really annoying with a lot of the systems I had designed that were like, you know, I don't know. It would get really weird. Yeah. Yeah, the pachinko game's not bad, because that already doesn't really care about the enemies. It just scoots them out of the way. Like, they just scoot out of the way. So that's fine. That's not really a huge concern. I mean, it would be a little bit annoying that I would have to work the different camera angles around it. But it's like, it's not terrible. And then they slide back in. Maybe it's like, I don't even know if I want to do it. Oh, we also need to think about the possibility of the muddy pigs inflicting some kind of status effect and what that would be like. Could just be more enemies than usual. Yeah. But like, mechanically everything's still the same. It's just like some enemies are on the left and some enemies on the right. Maybe. It is weird. It's very peculiar. Yeah, that was the idea. That was the genesis of this. Was I have a specific spot in the first dungeon where you are on a very narrow corridor moving horizontally. And my idea was, at one point in that, you get stopped with a cinematic where an enemy comes in from the right, the direction you were heading to, and you're like, uh-oh, gonna have a fight. But then another enemy comes in from behind, and then it's like, uh-oh. And then it's like a moment of like, oh, this is different. This isn't just a rehash of Thousand Year Door. There's some new, fresh ideas here. And then it's like something mechanically interesting with enemies on both sides. So, happenstance, Slay the Spire had an enemies on both sides mechanic for one specific battle in the game. I was thinking that's a possibility. With anything that hits all enemies, your choices are left side or right side. Maybe that's how those work. That certainly makes the most sense and isn't as hard as it would be to make everything that hits all enemies work with going across different enemies. For instance, we could add a new flag to the unit side, or a new flag to the battle unit object. That in addition to tracking, okay, which actor is this? How much HP do they have? Are they a flying enemy? What resistances do they have? That kind of stuff. In addition to that, it also tracks, are they on the right side or the left side? And that makes it pretty trivial to say if you have an attack that targets all enemies, we can specify, well, is that all enemies, or is that, do you want to choose the right side or the left side enemies? That is an interesting idea. I really do like that. That's honestly, Al, oh, like, you're going places. You're going places. Yeah, hazards on the field, and you can control which side it hits, and you could have an enemy that is switching between the sides at regular intervals. And you can't stop this thing from happening, but you can spend one move to change which side it happens to. And it's almost a puzzle boss of determining, based on what this guy is currently doing, which side would I rather have buffed? Yeah, enemies that switch sides. That's something. There's something to that. Yeah. Maybe. But I do think this, if we do this flank battle mechanic, it will only be for specific scripted battles. Not for your standard battle in the field. This is like basically mini bosses, like occasional mini bosses or full bosses, or just occasional like weird one-off fights. We'll use this, but it would be a rare system. I think that could work. Horde fights, yeah. I love fighting 100 of something. It could be a very interesting mechanic for like a wave-based battle of like, you clear out all the enemies and then just more enemies keep coming. Yeah, enemies. Oh my gosh, ow. Wait, we're on the wavelength. Let's put this in our to-do list as a potential idea. Flank battle. Enemies to enemies to right and left of player characters. Hit all attacks, may have to pick left side or right side. Add property to battle unit to track side. That's true. Yeah, let's call that out. Player and partner back to back can only target their respective side. Now, here's a trick. Swapping the player and the partner is currently a free action, sort of, but only for the front runner, the right side. So Dabble has a move that is a tactics move that is basically swap position. But whoever's in back does not get that option. And that is to make sure that you can't just I don't know, out of the blue choose to swap at the end. So swap already exists. Here, Scarecrow. Scarecrow, get these guys. Haha. Yeah. Whoever goes first is who has to choose whether or not to swap. Ooh, Scarecrow gets interesting, doesn't it? Weird considerations. Hit all attacks. We discussed that. Scarecrow. Enemies hitting first target need to be side-based. Yeah, that's one of those weird things. So right now, because I'm currently on Dabble's move, Dabble has the tactic of changing partners, which you can also do with the with a hotkey there, and that's free. You can just do that as many times as you want. Doesn't matter. But as soon as it's the back person's turn, you can't change back. I think that still kind of does work with a flanking battle, with the idea being that, okay, you can choose at the start of each round, but you have to lock in and just pick at the end. Welcome in, Gord. I think that's a reasonable idea. I like it. It's weird. It's almost just weird for the sake of weird, but I'm gonna say it's more weird for the sake of that's kind of cool. That's kind of neat. Is having multiple sides. Now, that said, what's to stop us from going more than just two sides? Could we have like a radial? That gets weird. That gets weird. Origami King? 8 sides. Octopus boss with 8 sides? It's just crazy enough to work. No, but that immediately breaks the idea of one person handles one side, one person handles the other side. It's like if you do an octopus and it's like, well, Now, that said, rotating set of like, without doing a flank, are you using branches? I am using branches, but I only have Master Branch. Some of my other games I have multiple branches, but for this game, I'm not doing feature branches. I'm basically like, I'm just using it as an off-site cloud storage, and that's basically it. Sometimes I need to do like git blame and figure out like what changed. How is this breaking? What changed here? Okay. Consider octopus. Consider a big old octopus head and 8 tentacles, but they are arranged around him in 3D space. And every time one of them goes, it like advances the register, and they all rotate around the octopus. And you're only targeting the one tentacle. Now this is interesting because maybe make it 2 at a time to make it make more sense. You can't get to the octopus head easily because you keep having to focus down these tentacles, but they keep replacing the tentacles with fresh ones that have full health. And so it's like, well, you're gonna have to wait 4 turns to get back around to those weakened ones. So it's like, yeah, maybe you want to take out the minions, but there's going to be a lot of minions in this fight to take down. Oh yeah, and a spinning attack could be fun. All right, so that's just considering possible ideas. That's completely unrelated to this flanking idea. What else would be really screwed up with flanking? The one thing that worried me a little bit was the snail domino effect. but I don't think that's actually as bad as I thought. Because Snail Domino, we can catch that just by saying, no, you can't Snail Domino something unless it's on the same side of the battlefield. Because normally it's just like, it just hits the next snail in line. And let's say there was a 6th snail over here, the code as is would then bounce over to snail 6, which doesn't make any sense. So we would have to add a little bit of code that says you can only Snail Domino into the next snail if that next snail is on the same side of the field. Yeah, back to back. That's cool. That's cool. I think we should try that. That is an interesting item as a to-do list. Okay, let's get back to Priority Pig. I think it's very cool. It's interesting, it's different, and I've not seen it done in one of these games before. I'm sure it has been. I'm sure there's tons of these types of games out there, but this one is very on the nose. Okay. So, first things first, we're gonna change playlist. We're gonna change to place your bets. Place your bets. Place your bets. Hello? Hello? Where's my history? I was just listening to this. How strange. Oh well. Each time you do it, you can introduce a different gimmick. That's true. Okay. Is the demo on itch? The demo has not been released yet. It's not complete. We still have a lot left to do. There we go. Most of the to-do is still in the in Dungeon 1. Demo is expected to come out late summer. Yeah, I think so. I think that could be cool. It'll have to be for specific parts of the game. But yeah, I think that's a really fun idea. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and put in, as a fun twist, buff or penalty scheduled for one side, ability to switch which side it hits, wave fights. I don't know what else, if anything. But yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. The ground could be a big gear. Huh? And not necessarily just the ground. What if it's like a pedestal of some sort that just the player is on? And so, streamer mode. Hang on, when are they gonna fix that? Do I need to download an update? Is it fixed and for everyone but me? There we go. Great. So what if instead of spinning the different sides, imagine if it's just like a dais flush with the ground. Like we put Dabble and Cat on a microwave plate. We spin them around and the camera with them. Okay? The camera spins with them, so like the entire backdrop gets spun around. That's fun. I've got a handful of really weird out there gimmick fights for late game, but they really only would work in the very late game. But I do want to sprinkle in some kind of more out there stuff. I'm trying to think what Thousand Year Door did gimmick-wise. I guess Glitz Pit Chapter 3 was kind of its own gimmick of every fight has some sort of extra thing that you have to achieve. Like, oh, don't use any items, or make sure to let the fight last for at least 3 rounds. That kind of thing. That's true. Random stage hazards, that was through the entire game. So that was not like a battle specific thing. That was more of just a game gimmick, which was a good one. And it evolved as the game went on based on your level. First 10 levels, as you were level 1 to level 10 or something, maybe 9, it was like just a little tiny status effect, or like 1 damage would occasionally happen with the backdrop falling. And then levels 10 to 20, it's like, oh, now there's pyrotechnics, and you might randomly get burned, so watch out. And then level 20 to level 30, it's like, oh, well, now we've got a mist effect that can cause enemies and players alike to miss occasionally. What are favorite Godot plugins? I don't really like a lot of Godot plugins. I've used, I think, like 3 different add-ons to any notable degree. Spatial Gardener gives you finer control over multi-mesh instance, which is what I use for the little bits of grass. Instead of making these each their own mesh instance, it's a multi-mesh, which normally can only be randomly placed. But with the Spatial Gardener plugin, you can be more fine-tuned about it. Let's see here. Controller icons is one that I've been using. It's up there. Controller icons is one I use because it automatically swaps out icons. Like these down here, this space icon, and, well, you can't see it, my head's in the way. These 2 icons right here behind my head. If you're using a controller, it will automatically switch to the appropriate controller icon for those moves. So I think that was really good. I've been playing with Script IDE as an add-on. It's okay. It's fine. I'm still not totally in love with Godot's built-in editor for scripts, but it's good enough. It's just occasionally a little weird. Mostly the back button is a little wonky sometimes. It doesn't do what I would expect. Okay. Pig. We need pig. The big plan for tonight is we need a new enemy. Is there a better scriptwriter thing that you could use? I mean, it does everything I need to. It's just a little bit finicky with, like if I hit back, I expect back to go to the previous file I had pulled up, but instead sometimes it doesn't. Oh, previous edited. Maybe it's only if you edit it? I don't know. I'm not gonna bother. It's not so bad that I have major trouble with it. It's just like slightly unintuitive, but it's not a huge deal. It doesn't slow me down to such a degree that spending the time to learn how to make it act more like I would expect, that wouldn't save me time. Okay, so that'll be a cool idea. We could actually work on that next stream if we finish up this pig stuff. Not gonna slow me down. All right, so the regular pig enemy, well, he's got 4 legs normally, so don't worry about that. The regular pig enemy, he does this thing where, you know, he's walking around and then he'll do a little bonk attack. You know, he'll bonk and then walk back. So we want a new enemy. A new enemy that is the mud puddle pig enemy. So it's gonna be like, I don't know, like submerged. like shark, like a shark. Maybe more submerged even. Oh, can't do that. Okay. So anyway, yeah. So a pig. Actually, let's go ahead and do that. Just go ahead and get rid of this. All right. So a pig in a muddy puddle. Great. Wallow. That's a man. Ow, that's a great name. Wallow. Wallow is a great pig enemy name. Opens the game and not the editor. When you press Run Project from Godot. That makes sense. Run Project means launch the game, run the game. If you want to open the editor, I think you want to hit Edit Project. Run means to run the program. Edit is to edit. All right. And then he can have like a little bit of splotchy mud on him, you know. Splotch, splotch, splotch. Just a brain fart. It's fine. Okay, so it'd be kind of very muddy pig. Oh no, he's cooked. But what's his deal? So I'm thinking it can be something like he kind of dips down below the surface. Let's do this temporarily. Okay, there we go. That'll help the illusion. So he can dip down. Oh, that didn't help at all. Wonderful. Let's actually make this work for the illusion. Perfect. Okay, now we got it. Okay, so he can just. Maybe something like that. Like I could see something like he dips into like a defense mode where he's kind of like just barely visible and then he pops up. I'm thinking the idea is that on the field, it's just a mud puddle, like a big mud puddle. And then occasionally he'll just kind of pop out. Like maybe even the mud puddle itself is a separate entity. Like a decal on the ground. But then on the field, it's like a big mud puddle is the area. And we can set them to like pop up here, and then he pops up over here, and then he pops up over here. And you just so anytime you're walking through the mud, you're in danger of him popping up right underneath you. And so you're constantly like, whoa, where's he gonna be? And maybe even the mud makes you move slower or something too. So then you get into the fight with him. He spawns with a puddle. The puddle does not move. He is just a pig. Like maybe he's a full pig. Look at that full pig. He's a full pig, a full-grown pig. But he's just like underground. He's like actually clipping through the ground a little bit. So his ability. So we probably want to keep him relatively stationary. So pop up and shoot globs of mud, I guess. Something like that. That's what comes to mind. Projectile enemies are typically easier. So if we do it that way, then we pretty much just need a decal for the mud. Hey, lag. We need a decal for the mud, and we can just use the regular pig sprite with some slight edits to make him muddy. So that's easy. And then, so he could like stand on the muddy puddle or be clipping through slightly. And you can just kind of like pop up, shoot a mud ball, and then dip back down with a little splash of mud. That'll be fun. And then what? Al had a great name idea of Wallow. I really would like it if all the pigs had a very similar naming scheme of a double consonant in the middle of a 6-letter word. Because it wallows in the mud, you know? That's the idea. Because we got Piggle and Hoggle and technically Biggle. Biggle hasn't been named in the game yet, or is even fightable. He's just made a cameo as a Snorlax-like entity blocking the road until he can be woken up by dulcet tones. This one loose bit of, like, my finger that's been bugging me. Pig trio, huh? Actually, that would be an interesting. Now you're thinking lag. That'd be an interesting like special attack, is if he dips down and then when he pops up, there's 3 of them and they follow just this big, massive wave of mud gets spat out at you. Pig stack. That'd be very silly. It's like, does he need a special attack? Maybe. Having 2 attack... The problem, though, then, is that it's not even... It's not even an interesting different attack. Like, it's basically the same attack, but bigger. I feel like if we're going to have 2 different attacks, they need to be different attacks. Not just a variant that's like, well, it does the same thing, but it hits both you and your partner. Okay, let's say there is a status effect that can go on with this. Like he has a special attack that can inflict a status effect of muddy or something. What does that do? What does that do to an entity? We could branch it out and say it's like a stuck status effect, because then we could reuse it for like honey or slime, both established in the Dabble universe in previous games. Which those kept you from moving around or from jumping. Which doesn't directly relate. It could be... Well, let's see here. We could make it a variant on slow. Like it could basically just be slow. Of miss every other turn. Or this would be a very interesting one. I force out one of your menu options. I block off maybe 50% of your menu options based on the current turn. Oh, what would that be? Like, I'm trying to think of, like, okay, I don't want to always prevent the same ones, and randomizing it makes me think there's going to be ways to cheat it somehow. For instance, oh, well, if I switch players and then switch back, well, now it's a different randomized. It's like, oh, yeah. Unless it's seeded somehow, but then that's weird. But what if it's based on the turn? Like, on even turns, I blank out the even options, and on odd turns, I blank out the odd options. That's possible. So that could be interesting, that like, oh, well, you can't use attack or tactics on even turns, and you can't use item or special on odd turns if you have muddy or stuck. Stuck. That could be the status. And then Cat is interesting because she only has 3 here. Oh, what if I block off the sub-menu every even or odd? So it's like, well, you can still choose to attack, but you can't use any of the even ones or any of the odd ones. And then the same thing on your items and on your tactics and on your special. That could be very peculiar, because then it's like, oh gosh, this battle's tough. I gotta get out of here. It's like, uh-oh, they stuck my my escape. Okay, that's an interesting status effect. I'm gonna go with that. How does it affect enemies who only ever typically have one attack they can do? Well, enemies are not typically going to get the status effect, but if they do, they will follow the same rules and basically lose half of their moveset, which will frequently leave them with no options. Does it make sense to unit test games or not? I would say, at least to some degree, that can be very useful, especially if you're pretty deep in test-driven development, like just culturally. For utility classes that you build out, very useful. Very useful to know and have the certainty, like, okay, this little helper tool I built that is going to... What's a good example? I don't know. Parse this awkward bit of data from a file. I'd like to make sure it handles these weird cases. That's actually pretty useful. Now, on the flip side, typically those types of things are not going to change very much. So it's like, you only get that initial benefit of unit testing, of getting that initial satisfaction of, yep, it is definitely working for all these cases, which is basically the same as just, you know, integration testing specific cases. In my opinion, the real benefit on unit testing is that you're getting the assurance that when you change the code later, you've got a one-click check to see, like, does it still handle all these weird cases? Green check mark, green check mark, green check mark. Okay, we're good. For your low-level utility stuff, that's not going to be changing that much, if at all. And then for testing actual game things, that's a lot harder to test depending on the type of game you're making. Like, a lot harder. Because there's usually a lot of systems working together in weird ways. The last major game I worked on was kind of like a Mario Maker style game. And one thing I had always thought would be cool but could never really justify was basically a test suite similar to how Factorio is tested, of having a bunch of pre-baked scenarios that can be instanced, played, and then the results can be checked. That would be really interesting if I could say, okay, player runs for 5 frames and then holds jump button. Do they make it on top of this ledge or not? And then later when I'm changing the physics, I'm like, okay, did I just bust this by changing the acceleration code slightly or like tweaking some numbers? Can they still make it up this ledge? It's like, uh-oh, I've changed something and now they can't make it up the ledge anymore. But I never actually was able to justify it because it was as big a project as it was a fairly limited user base. So we just kind of rolled with it. Okay, we're making a new status effect. That's what I've decided for this pig. We're making a new status effect. He will either attack with a mud ball, or he'll do a big wave of mud that has a chance of inflicting stuck. Now, how does stuck work? Potency-wise. All right, the stuck status effect. Some options in sub-menu are unavailable. Cycles based on turn number. Let's see here. Okay, potency. Here's how we're gonna do potency. We're actually gonna say that by default, all items are disabled in your submenus. But if you have potency 1, every second item is available. If you have stuck level 2, then it's every third item is available. And so on. Which means if you have less than that many abilities, like let's say you have 2 moves and you got a level 2 stuck, so that's gonna be every 3, then some turns, none of those items will be available and you'll have nothing you can do. Can that soft lock you? I just realized there's a chance that could soft lock you. Caveat then, skip turn is always available. Can only select every potency plus 1 item. Offset by turn number. And then skip turn is always available. This is an interesting idea. Have I ever seen this? Okay, yeah. This has been used a little bit. The cases I can think of, this is a stretch. Mario RPG blocked the uses of buttons in the Bowyer fight. He could lock either your A button, B button, or Y button. No, A button, X button, or Y button. Soft lock. We're not going to let soft lock happen. Don't worry. Okay, so let me get our status effects. Status effects. Here's the status effects. Okay, and this keeps it distinct from the slow effect in a good way. Let's get our grid. There we go. Okay, stuck. We're gonna do a slimy green, like a toxic green here. It'll be like goop on the ground. and then someone's stuck in it. Like someone, like we'll do like a man escaping. But legs are trapped because of goop. Something like that. Good start, good start. Something like that. I think that does that read? I think so. There's like a sludge that they're stuck in. You know what? I like it. I'm down with it. I've decided. That's it. That's the new status effect. So we need to plop that in the appropriate folder. I did not expect us to be doing a new status effect tonight. UI. I'm so glad I finally got some decent folders going on in my big folder of art. It used to just be all of these little doodles were in one massive folder, and now I've at least got subfolders going. Thank goodness. What's that? I do see her sitting up slightly and shuffling. Is the player stuck upon entering battle? No. This will be a status effect inflicted. Should I change the color? Like, is it always going to be... Because I'm thinking we could use this with honey. I did already know that. We could use this with honey, and we could use this with, I guess, slime or ooze of some sort. But for now, it's just going to be for mud. Something to put on the to-do list. Lower defense item. I want an item that you can throw at an enemy to lower their defense. Okay, status effects. We now got the new art. Now I need to go to status effect directory and make a new status effect. I am tempted to actually have a... We need to draw this somehow. Like, we need to make it visible that the player is stuck somehow. Like, if you're poisoned, you get a green tint. If you're asleep, you have a different animation. If you're stuck, I could spawn a puddle under the player, but I would want it to be a mud puddle, not a generic green sludge puddle. And that's really making me want to have variants of stuck that could be different colors. So I wonder if we could modulate. I wonder if we can modulate this a little bit. like consider different variants of the status effect. It has a color that it gets, and that bleeds over into all of the UI stuff or something. I don't know. Or this would be a weird one. What if yeah, like when you're frozen, we load in a scene and instantiate it and add it to the actor. So what if we could I somehow modify the color of the puddle on apply based on the instance of the status effect? Like have some kind of color modulation here. Where are we using status effect.new? Where does that come up? In the battle action as apply status effect. And then apply status effect gets, that's the individual move. So we could, allegedly, okay, extra weird idea. Extra weird idea. We changed the prototype. The actual directory gets modified because we're never going to have the same type of, or we're never going to have different types of stuck in the same fight. You're stuck in slime, you're stuck in mud, you're stuck in honey. You're never going to have that happen, those, like two of those happen in the same fight. It's going to be one or the other. And so maybe the move, whenever the move forces you to get stuck, it just changes what color that status effect uses. Oh, that's weird. I think we can make that work too. All right, so what we would want to do is grayscale this out, change it to white, so it's a colorless status effect. Okay. This is gonna be really silly if it works. All right, this is definitely gonna become a two-night enemy, just because we're getting a lot deeper in the weeds than I thought we would. This might be a three-nighter. Okay, so we're gonna make a new status effect called Stuck. Some moves disabled. Index. What is confusion on here? Index 13, so it's 14. Oh, we need a sound. You know what? I might have a sound we can use from Dabble Worlds. Nice little slimy sound effect. This one? Is that the sound? Guess that's the sound. Stuck jump. Maybe we can make something better in Beatbox. Let's see, what in the world can we use here? Scoot? Maybe. Make it wiggly note. Wiggle this note around a little bit. Maybe. That works. Too melodic. I like that, all right. Get rid of this, get rid of that. Put that in our big list of beatboxes for status effects. Stuck. Making a status effect is a lot more involved than it used to be. Devil Tales audio. Sound effects, status effects, stuck. All right. So in our status effect directory, we now change this to stuck. Prevents block. No. Can take that out. Right? We don't have to define that for every single one of these, do we? No. On turn refresh, nothing. Actor effect draw, yeah, no, nothing. On apply, yes, there will be something. We'll add a slime blob, and then we'll make sure to delete the slime blob at the end of the status effect. There'll be a little muddy puddle under them that is based on the color. Oh no, have I been? Yep, I sure have been. This is the one I need to be editing. Take out that. Take out that. Comment this. Comment that. Pass. Pass. And then nothing weird for taking damage. Okay, so that's the basics of it. Here, let's get this out of the way. We don't need art. We're doing programming now. So this status effect. Let's actually program the actual stuff first. Battle menus. So this is not going to be the main menu. This is going to be the sub-menus, the list of moves, the list of items, the list of special moves, that kind of thing. All right. So let's see what we got here. Menu. Player action menu. This is the one. So we need to address attack, items, tactics, and special. All right. Let's add a little item here. Warning. If adding new selectable here, make sure to consider stuck status effect. Okay. Tactics. So we normally we do add item on the menu instance, which is right here. So let's look at how menu instance works. When we add an item, it has an is enabled flag here. Okay, so it's instance set is disabled. Can I call that elsewhere? This is on the actual menu itself. I could add a helper function here. I could add a helper function right here that would do the work for me. Disable items for stuck status. Pass in the turn number and the potency. Iterate over items. Offset by turn number. That's it. All right, so first off, we gotta get the starting counter, which is gonna be turn number. And then for item, or no, wait, for select index. Index, huh? Do I have a list? Do I have a list of items? Item container. I guess it's just item container.get child. So I got to do for item in item container.get children. Iterate counter. Let's see here. Potency +1 is the allow frequency. If counter modulo allow frequency equals 0, then we can allow it. If it's not equal to 0, then item.set is disabled. True. And I think that's it. So we can call with the menu this right here. So at the end, we have to do menu instance dot disable items, turn number, and frequency. Let's say potency 1. So this should do every other item in the tactics menu should be disabled. Let's test that much first. Seems like a good block that everything should be working, but I'd like to verify. Okay, good. Every other item is disabled. That was a bad one to choose because, that, but it's fine. We want to pass in the turn number, which I would assume the battle manager stores that for us. Yep, turn number. Let's make sure that's actually incrementing. Yes, it does increment the turn number. Good. Okay, then in the battle menus, we just pass in battle manager.turn number. And then this will be the potency. So I need to get the current potency. Status effect. Want to get what potency? I think maybe battle unit might have a helper function that we can use. Or maybe it's just has... Yeah, it's just has status effects. But I could make one that is effectively get potency. Get effect potency. Get the effect. Get the effects. If effects.size equals 0, then return 0. Return f's 0 dot potency. There we go. Get effect potency. Okay. Unit dot get effect potency of status effect directory dot stuck. All right. This is our little block right here that will adjust our menu. Let's make a helper function for that because there's no point in doing that all there. Modify menu for stuck status. Pass in the menu instance and the unit. Okay, now we just call that for the tactics menu. We call that for the attack menu. The special menu. And not the targeting menu, the item menu. Okay, I think that works. So currently, oh wait, user, not unit. Now currently, oh, if stuck is 0, then you enable everything. Have I used render doc? I'm not familiar with render doc. Graphics debugger allows easy single frame capture and introspection of any application. Yeah, never used that. I'm not sure what the application of that would be in the game. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe if you're looking for like weird artifacts or something. I don't know. Only do this if stuck is greater than 0. I think it would still work fine if it's equal to 0, but it would be needless extra code running. Also, let's set stuck equal to 2. Let's pretend that we always have stuck 2 and see what happens. So this should happen on all of the menus. So what sets this apart is that normally, when you have this type of status effect in a game, it's blocking off one of these top level menus. Like, oh, you can't use items. Oh, you can't use attacks. But this one instead is blocking the sub menu. So the first one is blocked off. First one is blocked off. It's only allowing me to use the second one and the 5th one. Yes, okay, so that's every 3. That's good. That's good. But we could do better. Can we do better? I think we can do better. I would love it if this was covered in mud. I would love it if this little menu icon, this little panel here was covered in mud. Right? Right? Yeah. So that's what we're gonna do somehow. Because then it kind of explains why you aren't being allowed to use it. It's visually like, oh, it's muddy. Ah, I get it. Oh man. Not only is it disabled, but it's covered in mud, or slime, or honey. I think that's. We're gonna mud up the menu. We're gonna turn this RPG into a multi-user dungeon. So that is combat menu item. And it's got a little animation that's making me unable to see it right now. There we go. Okay, so I guess we need some mud. It doesn't have to be super great. Let's get a 100 by 500 blob here. We're again gonna make this colorless and have the modulation handle it so that later on, when we want to make different variants of stuck, like, oh, you're stuck in slime, you're stuck in honey, it will just work. It just works. Oh, you know what would be really nice is if we could do this. Yeah. Except I only want to wrap around horizontally. There we go. Change soundtrack. Let's bring back the oh, you know what? Let's do Bug Fables. Let's do Bug Fables. Yeah, why not? Wait, extended Ant Kingdom. Love that little jazzy opening. It's so good. Okay. That's slime right there. That is definitely slime, but it could also be mud. You don't know. Okay, I guess add some texture to it. Oh, dang it. I put it on the background layer. Much better. Now let's spice it up a bit. Go, give it a little texture. Okay, and so now when we desaturate this, we'll be able to have mud That's basically our mud. Darken it a bit. Or slime. Or honey? Honey, yeah. Cool. So we want to desaturate. There it is. There's our mud. Menu mud. Menu mud. I don't know. This is going to be very interesting. I don't know if this is going to look okay. Menu mud. I like things that affect the menu. Let's do that. So we're going to do that. I'm into it. All right. Combat menu gets mud. Give me the menu mud. Give me the menu mud. Okay, how are we gonna add this? Where does this go? It goes in the panel, right? The panel is set to... Is the panel set to clip contents? It's not. Well, huh. Really? Well, oh well. Sprite 2D. Menu mud. It is not clipping. It sure is not. Can I can only clip children. Okay, hang on. Panel. Copy, paste, but not with the things. Make it full, but also, oh wait, there was something to this where like some kind of combination of children items and viewports, I don't even remember. It would cause clip to not work properly, and I don't know why. Oh, but right now it's working fine, so I can only assume that it's going to continue to work fine forever. Now we turn on the region. And we say, oh, that looks really good. Why? What? What? Oh, so texture. Region. 500. 500. Why did it do that? Normally when I do a region that extends beyond the boundaries, it doesn't do that. Why does it do that now? Let me go into a 3D Wonderland here. Do I have any Sprite 3Ds that I can look at? This one right here. Does this have flags? Is there a repeat? No. Okay, well, I don't know what I'm thinking of then. Huh, that's very weird. Is there any texture? Repeat. Enable. There we go. Okay. Ooh. It was under texture. Canvas item. Okay. So now we can just say, you know, go 1,000. Go whatever you think you need. Where am I? Wait, why am I the way I am? Okay, panel, there we go. All right, we're back. We're so back, because now I can turn texture, repeat onto enabled, change the region to 1,000 so it extends beyond, and we'll do like this. See, that looks great. It's covered in, it's a little, let's go a little shallower. Now let's go a little smaller. There we go. That looks good. That looks good. Okay. So does that play nicely with the animation? It does. It does. Okay. Cool. We have mud. All right. So let me see mud on every menu item first to make sure this looks okay. Oh. Oh. Okay, that's the thing I was worried about. The clip only is not playing nicely at all. Not one bit. Okay. All right, that's fine. That's super fine, actually. It's what I wanted to happen. It's actually my favorite thing that it does that. I love that it does that. Okay, let's try and twist this around to just make it work. Can we do a warping something or other? Liquefy. Yeah. There we go. That'll work. All right, we're gonna try this. Menu mud, take 2. Power horn. All right, so this is not going to work. Mud, and then let's just scale it to fit and hope for the best. What? It would be much louder if I was our car, yeah. I think we would hear that pretty well. Alright, well, it's a little silly, but it's good enough. You can kind of see the icon. It's really the concern is what happens if it's like a smaller menu for some reason. Or a bigger menu in this case. Okay, well that's fine. I think that looks all right. I mean, it'll look even better when we do the modulation. Let's do some pre-modulate here. Visibility and modulate. Let's pick a nice muddy brown. There we go. Now the menu is covered in mud. Great. See, that's a fun little like, what? Oh, what's going on here? Okay, so we're gonna have a is muddy flag. Which is just gonna be a public flag. Is muddy. No, hang on, no. Muddy disable. It's going to, that is disabled to true, and it's going to visibilize the mud. There we go. So this set is disabled is what we were using before. Instead, we're going to do a muddy disable. All right. so let's get into a battle and check it out now. Yeah! So most everything is covered in mud. Some things are not. Very good, very good. I'm really weirded out that the clipping is not working, but it's fine, I guess. I could do some much more interesting things if it was working, but whatever. So that's what it'll look like. It's like, oh no, my menu's covered in mud. Oh man. Oh, that is, okay, before we forget, battle menu. This do nothing is always enabled. Do nothing is always available. Skip turn. So that special case. Okay, because somehow someone is going to wind up making it so they have literally no options available. I don't know how that's possible, but I'm sure someone could manage to pull it off. So we're just going to have a special case for that. Next up is the weird one. Okay. We need to actually get hit with the status effect. No Werther's original for me, thank you. Alright, Werther's original. Later managed to soft lock themselves. You should just shoot them through the screen. Temp status effect is going to apply to friendly unit. And the item. Oh, then the move is going to apply the effect of stuck on the target for 1 turn. Potency 2, turns 2. Oh wait, this is a flip. We just want to. We don't want to do a flip. We want to just apply the status effect. Potency, duration, effect type. Potency, duration, effect type. So we're gonna add something extra to this action here. We're gonna add something new to status effects in general. Do it again, do it again. A modulation of the color of the status effect. And this is going to affect a few weird things that are predominantly going to be used for this one status effect, because I'm planning ahead that we're going to want this muddy effect to work for a few different things. So let's grab this here, copy that value. Modulate. Let's just call it color. Equals color dot white, which is the default modulation. But for this one effect in battle moves, we're instead going to apply a different color. Color dot from string default color dot magenta. Okay, that works. All right, so the status effect. Instantiation. Color. Defaults to color.white. And that's for the instance. And when you instantiate a status effect instance. Wait, no. That's not how we're doing this, is it? Is that? No, it's not. No, it's not. It is the action here. Status effect, battle action. Battle action. When we apply a status effect, we're gonna actually change the effect type. I think. Does this work? Can I actually do it this way? Get property value. Is that, what is that setting? What is that setting? Ready. Index. Puts it in the effect list. We're not setting the ID anywhere like we do with the item directory. We should do that. Item key, here we go. Okay, good. So it's gonna have a color. Color dot blue is gonna be the default for now. And what we're gonna do is when we are doing this status effect, yeah, we don't have to set the color here. We don't have to do that. That's not necessary. We don't have to do it in actions. We can do it in the move itself. So get rid of this. Instead, the move itself can say, hey, I'm using mud, therefore change the color of this status effect to red, or whatever color we're gonna do. And what is that actually gonna do? A few things. Oh boy, what all is it gonna do? What's that all affect? That's going to affect coin flip color, card color, eventually puddle effect color, menu effect color. Good. Right, so when we are on the combat menu and we disable stuck status, then in our combat menu item code, where we set muddy, mud.visible, mud.modulate equals status effect directory dot stuck dot color. So we're gonna pull the modulation from the status effect, from what its current color is. So that's when I need to pull up a menu and display mud on it, it's going to choose the appropriate color. Okay, so that one's done. Give me my check mark here. Menu effect color should be good. Status effect card. Effect card. Show me a status effect card. Yes, this right here. Who generates this? It's probably the stats effect card container. Presumably. Well, where does that come from? Who's messing with that? Ah, this is what instantiates it right here. Yeah, so the card here. Card. That's effect instance. Good, good, good. We're gonna do color is effect.getColor with a default of color.white. And we're gonna say card dot get node icon dot modulate equals color. Okay, so that should take care of that. Coin flip. The coin flip. Status coin. Oh. That one's going to be interesting. That one does not have anything going on with it. It's just plopping the coin down. So let's just search for status coin. Where is that happening? Right here. Battle action. Status flip. Boom. One place. Good. Instance. Color equals effect type dot get color with a default of color dot white. Hey Hudson. Icon equals instance dot get node. Is this correct? I don't feel like this is correct. What is the instance? It is the status flip. How does that work when there's multiple coins? How do we get multiple coins in here? Oh, coin is a different scene. Ah, you got me. Finally managed to catch a simple flip stream. Okay, so before we bake result, that's the trick. Before we bake the result in battle actions. Before we bake the results, we need to set the color. Don't do this. Instead, say instance.color equals color. And then the actual coin flip, of which we have not even seen a little bit of in this game. We instantiate a coin. Ah, and we've already got the sprite. And we'll modulate it there. Okay, that might be it. Do you have any plans to get the Switch 2? I would probably at some point. But right now, there's just not enough games for me to really consider getting it. It is a $600 Mario Kart. $500, whatever. I've heard it's fun, yeah. But with as little time as I have for playing video games, I cannot justify that. That's a lot of dollars. Yeah. Okay, is that everything for the color? I think it is. And we're currently saying set it to red. So let's see if it actually sets the mud to red. We want the status effect to be red, and we want the actual menu. I think it was supposed to do that. All right, let me stop. Don't think it was supposed to do that. What was that? What was that? Something it did. Well, let's find out again. Okay, invalid assignment on the status effect. Really? Oh, because these are not. No, wait. These are the same types of things. Little dance break. Little dance break. If it's a dictionary. Did I do this? Did I do this? No, I did not. Okay. Oh, wait. Oh. I just put it in the wrong spot. Okay. That should do it. All right, use an item. Right, I have it on by default. Fix that in battle menus. Right down here. Take out stuck to. So we're making a new status effect for the game that you can get covered in mud, and it prevents you from using pieces of your menu. All right, so apply this to cat. Who now has, it's red, that's good. It's barely legible. But it's working. Oh, nice, she has the blood stats effect now. Great. Okay. Cool. Now let's make it brown. Which is gonna be in the moves. From string default color dot magenta, the error color, international error color. There we go. So that'll be the default color. Remaining on this is not a lot. Okay, let's just check the coin flip as well. Make sure that looks all right. Yeah, muddy menu. That's fun. That's a fun little effect. Now, in the early game, we're only going to do potency 1. Oh, the other thing I need to test is to make sure it offsets by the turn number. So, like, the first turn, every even item is blocked off, but the second turn, every odd item is blocked off, that kind of thing. So to test the coin flip, instead of doing apply status effect, we need to do Q status effect flip, which just replaces potency with a coin flip. Then we'll do 4 coins, because that gives us a pretty good chance of this coming up. Fly it. It was white. It was still, the icon was white. I could tell. Okay, so not the card, not the container, not, directory still has some stuff to be done. That's probably fine. The current issue is the coin flip. Coin flip. Color is getting the effect types. Let's print color here. And print 1. Make sure it's getting the correct color. And then when we bake our results, let's print 2 and get the color there. And that should be it. It should be one of those two places where something's going wrong. But other than that, this is looking good. Oh wait, it turned brown at the end. I saw that. Okay, those are the right colors, but it didn't take. Why is that? There's other coins. There's something. We add a child. Specify card. How is this happening? Why is it the wrong color until it lands? That's really weird. Get node. Because of the... Is there an await happening here? No. How does this work? We instantiate a coin instance. As soon as we do, we change the region rect and the color. Let me try this again. I think there's something going on. I think there's something mysterious happening. That looks like four instances, but they were all, as far as I can tell, the correct color. Seven GB. Let's see here. Get an RGB color picker here. 128, like 192, 128, 8, yeah, that's brown. Okay, so it's printing the correct color. So it's just that it is not setting it. So why does it change color? You know, that's a pretty good question. Why does it change color when it stops flipping? Nation player, the coin. There's a packed scene. This scene right here. And it will either play heads, boing, or tails, boing. But then when it ends, that's when this changes color. Okay, so that's the mesh. And that's the sprite on top of the mesh. And then this is the container for all of the coins. Each instance gets placed. Now, all 4 of them definitely had the wrong color. Is there something about the coin where modulate would do something weird? Oh, actually, hang on. Modulating this sprite doesn't seem to be doing anything. Why is that? Oh. Because it's actually a material overlay, not... Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yep, that's it. That's it. Okay, okay. We can do that. We can do that. So it's not... It's a geometry material override. All right, that's super addressable. Material override. .modulate.color, I think that's the way you reference that. GameCube games. Love GameCube. Yeah, no, it was still wrong. It was still wrong. But now she's extra stuck. Now almost everything, every 4th item is available. Oh, well, you know what? Let's take this opportunity to confirm that that it still does the thing. Where it will shift the mud by 1 each turn. Yeah, now Scarecrow is the only one available. So it was items 1 and 4. Now it's 1 and 5. Now it's item 4. Cool. Oh, see, that would suck as a turn if you had that much mud. All right, so material override. The status coin. Let me set that to black here. And let me have this print the existing modulation before we set it, and see if I'm actually referencing the property I think I'm referencing. Oh, nope. On a base of type object. Okay, this is getting me somewhere. Sprite has material override, which is a material 3D, and then has albedo underscore color. They have a different, okay. It's a different property name than any other time you hit the modulate color. Super Mario Sunshine. Yay, we have muddy coins. Great. Oh, she's got level 4 mud. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, she can't use anything except lose. So she can use the 3rd item from from each menu. Is that right? Third item and then skip 4. But she still gets to use skip turn because that's always hard-coded in, always available. Okay. In a real game, not counting any kind of weird mod stuff we end up doing down the road, you will never get level 4 mud. Level 4 stuck. All right, we're almost there. We've almost completed the status effect. Remaining is we just need to make the puddle. So done with that. Done with that and that. It's just the status effect directory. So we just need to make some mud. Which, you know what? We might have something for that. Hang on. Look here. Where would that be? Texturing? Splotch. Splotch might do the trick for us. Yeah. Hang on, let me get this pulled up. Pull up the splotch. The splotch. It's a little pixely. I don't think that'll work after all. That's a 100 by 100. Let's go for a 300. And let's just draw a nice little puddle. Nice little puddle of mud. Or slime, or sludge, or whatever. There we go. It's a good splotch. Beach volleyball. Mario Kart tracks. Legendary good category. It's a good splotch. Gotta say. Feeling splotchy. Splotch it up. Fishing for a good cat. All right, so we're gonna call this one Puddle. PNG, put it in texturing. Okay, where do we put the ice block? Here we go, in status effects. Good. That is perfect. So this is going to be interesting. So just like Ice Block is its own little scene with its own little freeze audio player. Oh, it's melting. Okay, makes sense. So yeah, we're gonna make our own little splotch here. Add in a new, no wait, no, sorry. Create new scene. Puddle. Add a sprite 3D, which is puddle. Oh, whoops, puddle white. flatten it out. Should that be a decal? I wonder if that should be a decal, really. It's like, part of me is like, no, it's fine. Just move it up slightly and it's good. What's that? Sounds good to me. I can finish this Sunday. All right, we did not get pig to paper, but we've got a plan. The status effect, I think this will be an interesting little gimmicky status effect to some degree, to the point where I kind of want to have this. I initially had one room in mind in the dungeon, and I was like, hey, I have a fun idea. What if right here there's an enemy that like appears and disappears, and you have to time your way through this little challenging setup? And now I'm like, actually, you know what? This idea, this status effect is so interesting. It is vaguely like Bowyer, and the difference that I think is notable is Bowyer and the various other enemies that do this in RPGs block off a top level menu, like an entire like category, and that is simpler to understand. Whereas this one blocks off just like the sub items and a shifting set each turn. It's part of me is wondering, like, should I make a separate version of this status effect, like that's not just a recolor, like if we do honey or slime or something, but actually does something different, like blocking out attack versus items each turn, swapping back and forth. But then it's like, well, is that really necessary? Like that is different. Adds MP cost. Ooh, that's an interesting idea. Yeah, like you can still use them, but they're more costly. I think what makes that tricky is right now the system, not for a technical reason, mostly just for a simplicity reason, will only ever display a single cost, and every item that you choose should only be a single cost. The idea is that a move could cost, HP. A move usually is going to cost energy, sometimes costs gear for like special moves, and I have built in to the system the possibility for moves that cost HP. And I have some plans for that later in the game. But everything only ever uses one of those. And so if we add this possibility of like, oh, we add one energy cost to everything, it's like that works for things that either have no cost or an energy cost. But for things that don't, like your special moves or the hypothetical moves that cost HP, it gets hairy on the UI to tack on an energy cost to that. So we'll see. I like that a lot. Ooh. Could we make that what burn does? Like it ignites the menu item Paper does burn. That would certainly make it different from poison, which is what burn always does. Yeah, where you select it and then it... That could be very interesting. And while burn is active, like all of your menu items, I guess not item, like items, it's like you use them and then they're gone. But your different attacks or even specials, that could get really bad if it was a long fight. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like what if you do it for a long fight and it's like, no, it's gone for the fight. That could be a good like boss mechanic of trying to strategize, like, oh gosh, like, okay, I'm coming back in to fight this boss again. I need to just bring as many moves as I can. That could be a very interesting strategy. It's like, no, you gotta just, your goal is to bring in as many moves as possible. Oh man, I gotta add that to the to-do list. And then we're gonna raid out to somebody. Okay, stuck status effect. Still needs puddle effect for on fly on end with recolor on puddle. Fire status effect. Gosh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. I think it only applies to attacks because tactics are pretty particular. Like things like switch order. It's like that that's free. You should be able to do that all the time. Using an attack burns it. Either removing it for the battle or a number of turns. Maybe a boss uses perma removal. Actually, that could be the potency. And now I'm thinking we need to have an infinite potency as something in our status effect set up, which isn't really infinite. It's more just like 999. But when the potency goes over a certain threshold, we just display a big X or maybe an infinity sign. Because you'd have to have specific strategies to approach that. That's really fun. Like, you'd really have to think about that. Let's go to Germ Dove. There, I said it. We're going to Germ Dove. Gimmicks are good. They are. Carefully. Yeah, especially if the fire status effect is well understood earlier in the game, and then you bring out a boss and he inflicts a status effect on you, and you see like the potency and it just says infinite, and you're like, oh, that moment of dawning horror of like, ooh, how am I going to handle this? That's a fun idea. I gotta have some way to make it possible. It's gonna be tricky. It's like, how many turns realistically can a fight go on if you can only use every attack once? So maybe not 999, maybe just a really high number like 5. You know, a really high number like 5 or something around there. All right, everyone have a good night. I'll be back Sunday. Bye.